let's talk about emotional intelligence and divine balance. So, we all have a blend of divine feminine and divine masculine energy, and we want these two to be in balance. And here's something I think is very relevant right now for where we are at in society. If you are overly emotional, you become easier to manipulate. And this isn't about shutting down your feelings, this is about balancing your feelings with logic. Divine feminine energy is feeling deeply, and then divine masculine energy is thinking clearly. And no matter if you're male or female, we all need both of these. Because guess what? Guilt and fear are the basis of manipulation. And if you're all emotion without discernment, you could easily internalize someone else's distortion as truth. This is why emotional overwhelm is actually a spiritual vulnerability. Mainstream media and news use this all the time. They try to hook us emotionally to pull us into distortion and out of coherence. They try to emotionally manipulate us constantly by using fear and guilt tactics. We really need to be able to step back and be the observer. And when we see these narratives that are clearly here to cause us to feel guilt or fear, we need to be able to just watch it and not send out an emotional response. And we need to step back and be able to think about it logically. And the first step in this is regulating our nervous system. And so much of society literally sets it up so we have a dysregulated nervous system. But we need to take our power back, get regulated, so we're not constantly in fight or flight. And that's when we can truly step back and be the observer and just watch what's going on without immediately having an emotional response. And once we have our nervous system regulated and we know how to step back and be the observer, then we have all this room available to use our logic. And the problem's not you. The problem's not that you are too emotional or you don't use logic. Like I said, society literally is set up to dysregulate our nervous systems. So we're constantly in fight or flight, and before we could even think logically about a situation, it triggers us and we send out an emotional response. And the mainstream media are crafty, and there's all these thought forms out there that are pre-created narratives essentially. So when we're not thinking logically because we don't have room to, because our nervous system is dysregulated and we're just sending out emotional responses, well, guess what is there? That thought form. That is just there, very convenient for us to latch onto, send out emotional response. But once we regulate our nervous system and have time to actually observe and use our logic, then we won't just automatically latch onto those thought forms that are pre-created and meant for us to just latch onto when we have an emotional response. So then once we regulate our nervous system and give ourselves space essentially to observe, to actually see the truth with nuance and our own logic, then we can start feeling things from truth instead of trauma. And that is real balance and real embodiment. Love ya!